this might be the best week one that I can remember.
Wemby may have a 14-year prime. He's, 22 years old, and it feels like he's playing as well as anyone we've ever seen.
I hate you, refs. You suck. All of you. Every single one of you are terrible. I can't stand you. All right, we are back. Buckets and Gravy, week one is in the books. Titus, I got to say, first of all, welcome back. And in my lifetime, I got to say, this might be the best week one that I can remember. And to further that point, the stars have really come out to play. Every game I've watched, it seems like every star wants to prove that they're the best player in the league. It's just been phenomenal intensity, phenomenal gameplay, and they're scoring a lot of buckets. Just to go through, I mean, SGA scoring 34 and 5. He already has it. He scored 55 the opening night. Jokic averaging 20, 15, and 11. Giannis 36, 14, and 7. I mean, the list goes on and on. Wemby looked like, I mean, everyone, it's getting a little cliche and overplayed now like an alien, but it literally is like things we've never seen.
Yeah.
One of your dark horse MVP picks.
That's right.
With Wemby.
I wish I actually put money on it. Unfortunately, I didn't. I'm regretting that now,
40
man.
The first night. Luka in 2 games, he got hurt, unfortunately. He's averaging 46, 11, and 9. Curry dropped 44 the other night. He's averaging 27. It's just phenomenal basketball. It's what we love. And I just got to say, I can't remember a week one that has been this good and drawn me into the season this fast.
You know what's crazy, Troy? Like, I think we're at a point in the NBA where, there's a lot of nostalgia. I feel like especially for millennials like us, you see it on social media and stuff, like the 2010s, right? Like that era, give or take a few years around 2010. And I think we're in that cycle again where we have these superstars that are nearing the end, right? So during that time, it was Kobe, Tim Duncan, Dwayne Wade was he had a fast peak, right? But you had these guys getting close to the end. Dirk, right? Dirk found a way to get his title in 2011. But then you had the rise of guys like LeBron, Carmelo, Wade. I should have put Wade in that younger category. And we haven't really had that yet, where you have this group of superstars. And now the older guys are LeBron, Steph, Kevin Durant. And then you have just like so many people that feel like they're hitting their peak right now in some area of their prime, either entering into it. Wemby may have a 14-year prime. He's, 22 years old, and it feels like he's playing as well as anyone we've ever seen. So it's really a unique time for the NBA, and perfect time for the Buckets and Gravy to come back, man, and talk about it. We forgot to mention it is our Halloween episode. I'm dressed as Tom Selleck, talking about NBA. I'm sure Tom Selleck bet on a lot of NBA games, so.
I literally am wearing what white chocolate Jason Williams was wearing when I saw him in the airport. So shout out to J-Dub.
Yes, sir.
We're going to keep shouting him out every episode until he's a guest on the pod, by the way.
Absolutely.
So, it's just, I got to say, man, the Thunder clearly are the favorites. I mean, they're just loaded. They're picking up right where they left off. After that, to me, it's a toss-up in both conferences. Who's going to compete? And it's just been a great start to the season.
Well, Troy, before we dive into specific teams, I have a question for you about how good the first week of the season's been. Another part of it, we talked about, all-time players coming to the end, still playing at a high level. We talked about guys in their prime. But the big thing that we left out, and I want to get your thoughts on this, is the amount of 24 and under guys that are stepping into NBA games and at times looking like the best player on the court or immediately contributing. What do you think that is? Because I think as a former coach, there's a lot to criticize about the way basketball is done, at least here in the United States. Obviously, the way they do it in Europe and overseas gets some good publicity for how they do it. What do you think is the reason that we've seen this many guys step into the league and be ready to go right away? I mean, it's pretty unbelievable when you watch how many young guys are just like look like they belong right away.
Yeah. This is going to be total theory, obviously.
That's all this is.
We're not plugged in.
We're not scientists
to any NBA franchises, but I will say, the guy we admire the most and still love to watch, Steph Curry, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's safe to say for a period there, he might have ruined basketball because it's kind of like Odell in the NFL. Not that he ruined football, but when someone does something amazing, you mimic it. So, like, I'm sure you've heard your kids play football and they're Odell,
yeah,
just trying to do the one-handed catch, right? And it was when we were growing up, it was Moss. You get Moss, right?
Yeah,
and so for a while there with Curry, everyone just wanted to just one-on-one and shoot bombs, and it quite literally changed the game. And in analytics, it changed for the better too, right? But I do think it halted progress of player development, where all they did was just shoot and shoot and shoot. And there's more to the game than that, right? And I think that's the underrated part about Steph, is everyone just knows him for his 3-point shooting, but that guy is like such a skilled ball handler, such a high IQ, high stamina, never stops, knows how to come off screens, knows how to pass. So there's just so much more to Steph's game, but all we pay attention to is the shooting. And I do think that halted progress of player development. First of all, because there's only one Steph, right?
Right.
And but
how does that explain how well they're playing now, though? Like the young guys.
So I think I think we've moved beyond that to where guys are starting to realize, like, man, there's a lot more to this game than just shooting, and we've gotten back to basics. We've gotten back to fundamentals.
I do. It's funny when you said the Steph thing. I agree with you. I think for a short-term period, you had people maybe trying to mimic it. But what if we are now entering the era where these guys were 10 to 11 years old when Steph started doing this, and now they're 20, 21, 22, and they started it maybe from a younger age, and they normalized, like, hey, you have to be able to shoot from 26, 27 feet out, 30 feet out. That should be part of your range. You know, just like when we grew up, like, it was good if you could shoot threes, right? It wasn't as prevalent, but like now it's almost like it's normal to develop a shot from a young age that you can consistently and comfortably shoot from longer. But you're right. I think the overall play, my theory, and I haven't put a ton of thought into this, but I think the elite players are as good as they've ever been development wise across the world and in the US. I know a lot of times like our the way that our players are developed is criticized. That's fair. I think there's a lot that's fair about that. I think you go to any normal high school gym right now, though, and your regular average teams are worse than they were 15 years ago. But the elite players, it's not even close. Like they're coming into the game. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I think there's so much emphasis and attention paid to the elite guys growing up in our system that from a skill standpoint, the shot making is so off the charts. Like, again, we were laughing last night. The Wizards, I watched some of it. The Wizards like should have beat the Sixers. They didn't. There were multiple guys doing things on that team that if you fast forwarded 10, 15, definitely 25 years ago, 35 years ago, the random bottom dwelling teams in the league did not have dudes doing that type of stuff. And it's kind of across the board. I know we're going to talk about my Magic later in our new special segment we like to call Home Cooking, where we talk about the Magic and the Kings. And then if Dosh is here, definitely the Sixers. We'll certainly find a way to talk about them. But the Magic have great pieces. They do good stuff. I'm watching these games. You have to be elite every night right now in the NBA. There's so many good players on every team. And offense is so heavily outweighing decent to good defense right now. Like it's not good enough to be good at offense. You have to be like elite. And then the great teams learn how to mesh that all together. But on any given night, I feel like it's been a long time in the NBA since we could say this. Any given night, anyone can win a game. You know, I mean, maybe the Wizards aren't going to easily beat the Thunder on the road, but with the right set of circumstances, maybe they could at home. You know, you have the Celtics who thought everyone kind of assumed they might be decent. They're struggling, right? They're early in the season, even with obviously they lost a lot, but it just shows the strength top to bottom of the league, and it's exciting to watch, man.
Ty, I think you might be hitting the nail on the head there. There's just so many good players, and that's what makes this league so exciting now, where when we were growing up, teams maybe went 7 or 8 deep.
Right.
And even then it was a struggle, right? But now teams can go 11, 12 deep, and that 12th man it is still good. So it's crazy the talent depth that's across the league, and man,
it's awesome, man. It's fun to watch. It sucks for our teams that have to play against it, but it is fun to watch.
Exactly. It's especially nice when if your team has depth, unlike my team.
Right.
So we'll leave it at there. So Ty, I know our last pod right before the season, we made some predictions.
Some big predictions, man.
Some big predictions. And so we're gonna go into a brand new segment here.
Ooh, let's go, baby.
Called Defend or Deny.
Okay.
Defend or Deny. It may have been a previous take, or it may be something new that we've noticed within the first week of this season. And listen, man, he went up against Wemby the first night at home. Got to cut him some slack because Wemby went crazy. But I got to ask you your take of Cooper Flagg being a bust. Defend or deny?
All right. So first of all, very excited to be the first recipient of the Defend or Deny segment here on the Buckets and Gravy podcast. I did not say he's going to be a bust. I did say, however, that just to reiterate, little quick 20-second rewind, that the amount of hype he was getting, I think, was overblown. It was a little bit overblown in that he was being treated like one of these true outliers that steps in the league every couple years. Some of that maybe is just the media, or the social media or the grassroots media pumping him up. But I feel like from what I saw at Duke, I really like his game. But what I said on the podcast was I don't see him as a future first team NBA guy. I certainly don't see him as an MVP, and I don't see him as a generational talent or somebody who by himself could change a franchise. I talked about how I think he was drafted into the perfect situation compared to almost any other first pick in recent NBA history. That he was able to plug into a winning team, because I do think he's a winning player. But I don't think he brings the things to the table that you can build a franchise and with him as a number one guy. Now, again, he's so young, so I'm not trying to be unfair in any way. However, I absolutely defend my take that Cooper Flagg is overhyped. I think he's a good player. I know there's been, we could talk a little bit about the role that the Mavericks have put him in. Some people are really from the beginning on opening night, Charles Barkley kind of complaining he's a point guard. But here's the thing, man, like you can't have your cake and eat it too. You're drafted to a team full of veterans that has title hopes. So would you rather go to a completely dysfunctional franchise? Either way, you could have excuses made for you, right? Throwing all the excuses out, I think he is what he is. And I think he'll get better. He's very young. He's not a generational talent. And I don't know if we're going to have a chance to talk about this today, but Troy, have you seen the top 3 picks play in college so far? It is, to me, and I mentioned this in podcast 1, I've always felt like Cam Boozer projected higher than Cooper Flagg. I think when Cooper Flagg reclassed, it did him actually a lot of favors. I think he is there's no shade here, no hate, other than to say, unfair to him, something he did that people, I think, immediately put him in a category that he doesn't belong in. And he went up on night 1 against a generational outlier talent in Wemby. And yeah, Wemby's had the benefit of a few years, but there's no scenario where Cooper Flagg ever looks like that in an NBA game, ever. And Wemby just did it every game he's played so far in year 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I defend that take.
And I'm going to keep saying that you called him a bust until our listeners just believe it, that's what you said.
I get random hate mail sent to me. The best is like in the NBA world, if you have a take and then the person has one good game, everyone's like, see, idiot. It's like, okay, they play 82 games. Like,
No doubt.
All
no,
right.
and I'm right
Tell
with you.
me your thoughts on that one, Troy. Then I got one for you.
I got just following up this upcoming draft class, and something unfortunately that I've already been texting you about even before the season, but now 4 games
as a Kings fan
is just Kings, please lose every game, because the top 3 picks, Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, AJ DeBonsa, are franchise. It looks like they're franchise changing.
It really
players.
does.
And so,
I would say, to be fair,
yeah.
We won't go too much into this because I'm going to make you defend other stuff, but I've been higher on Cam Boozer than you. I saw him play, as a 15-year-old, and it was unbelievable seeing him in person. He came from an incredible program. What I will say, from everything I can tell, I don't know the coach that was at Columbus or who also coaches AAU team, but they looked really well coached. Like, I watched them play in a game at the Florida State Summer League a couple years ago, and they were like a well-oiled machine. They played a great team. It came down to the wire. He didn't call timeout. They all knew exactly what to do in end-of-game situation. So as a former coach, I watched it. I was like salivating because obviously the talent, but also like he's been well coached, and you can't, and who knows with these top prospects, what type of coaching they've actually had to this point. Most of the time we don't know. And I think it's fair to assume most of them have not had good coaching. So that's the other thing that stuck out. But all that to be said, I think the other 2 guys are absolutely higher prospects than him. I think he is amazing. And these other 2 guys look like, they look like they could be all-time basketball players.
Yeah,
they look unbelievable.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to getting more into them in the future, because that's kind of all the Kings have hope for right now. So
yeah, and maybe the Magic. We'll get into that in home cooking in a little bit. All right, Troy, defend or deny. Now, there was slight reference made to this in podcast number 1 of this year, but you and I have a long history of being diehard. The way that, just to catch up any of our new fans, the way that this podcast was born was we lived in Tallahassee, Florida. You now live in Ohio, but we lived in Tallahassee, Florida, and there's very few NBA fans here in Tallahassee. So we talk about the NBA a lot. We absorb it. We feel like we know maybe more than we should about all things NBA. So we share takes constantly with each other, even if it's not on the podcast. And Troy, I am asking you to defend your takes throughout the years about Tyrese Maxey. I feel like you have held him to a very high standard. Speaking of somebody who from the jump as a rookie was put in a situation where his team's aspirations every year it is a failure unless you make the finals, right? And by that measurable, they failed every year. Couple that with somebody who went into a very dysfunctional situation with Ben Simmons and Embiid. And then now Embiid looks, almost looks like he's disposable in this plan of the Sixers. So I want you to defend or deny, Troy, that Tyrese Maxey is not a bona fide star in the league. And I'll give you the floor. Maybe that's an unfair take, but I've questioned where you land on Maxey.
Got it.
So for once and for all, settle the score. Where do you land on Maxey? Is he a bona fide star?
So the key here is he a bona fide star? I want to say Sixers right now are 4-0. Maxey and Edgecombe have been great. And Maxey's shot looks amazing. He looks hard to guard. They're giving him a ton of foul calls. He's driving hard to the paint. I'd say he's earning them. Also, maybe I should rephrase that. So I think he's had an excellent start to the year, and literally carried the Sixers because Embiid is which is another conversation maybe in our home cooking of like what's that looking like. But he's quite literally carried this team, and it looks like they're rallying around him. I kind of want to pump the brakes.
Okay.
The Sixers are 4-0. They've played Boston, Charlotte, the Magic, and the Wizards.
You said the Magic as if we're not like a guaranteed top 3 seed. What's that about?
So I just we're taping this on a Wednesday, and the Magic, I think, lost to the Pistons tonight. So another
I'm pretty
loss
sure.
for the Magic. Yeah. So
unless they had like a 32-point comeback. In the last 7 minutes.
So, but my point being, listen, you play who you play. You play who's on the schedule, right? And so he, to this point, he's done what it's taken to win, and he's putting up numbers. I want to pump the
Troy,
brakes.
is he a star in the league?
So star, I guess, would quantify as like all-star,
like consistent all-star year in, year out.
Consistent all-star. I'm gonna say no.
And future, okay.
I'm gonna say no.
Right.
Like, I'm thinking of guys like, even tonight I was watching the Magic play the Pistons, and Cade Cunningham's just on another level, man. It's just like, yeah. So like, I don't put Maxey up there. I do think Maxey is an elite scorer. I do think he is an elite scorer. I think he's a terrible defender, and he's not much of a point guard per se, as far as like getting the team involved, right?
Sure.
That's okay, but I would say he's a bona fide scorer. So I'll put it at that. As far as a perennial all-star, I can't get there. I can't get there yet. But so I'm gonna defend my take on that.
All right,
I'm starting to wonder if we're just going to keep defending our takes here.
Or we'll deny. We'll be like, I never said that. All right, so let me add one thing about the Sixers before you throw something my way in the defender deny segment. We got to talk Embiid. Let's just talk about it now. This is like happening before our eyes. I mean, this is somebody that won MVP a couple years ago. I mean, Troy, I think his knees are shot. He looks so slow defensively. He was, Alex Sarr had 31, I think, points last night, a lot of them on Embiid. And we've been talking about this for years. It's like we're beating a dead horse at this point. He doesn't seem like somebody who's capable of leading other men towards anything significant. And what I'll say about Maxey is I don't think it's like by chance that this team looks happier. They look higher energy because you follow your leader, and Maxey leads by example. He's gotten better every year by a wide margin. He's grown physically. He's gotten bigger every year. His game always adds something to it. You can trace that every year of his career. Remember, at first we thought he couldn't shoot. Now he's like automatic. That's like that means something. Like that doesn't happen very often. And the team looks so much happier rallying behind Maxey. He seems like such a likable guy who loves ball. And Embiid can't help himself. Within game 2, he's already complaining to the media about minutes restrictions, and he's a baby. I mean, we've said this before. I'm not trying to belittle a grown-ass man who just won MVP, but like, I don't know how else to view his legacy other than this feels like somebody who could never... and he plays through injuries, so I'm not saying he's not tough, but like he's not emotionally equipped to lead other grown men towards a goal, especially with where the NBA is at right now. And at some point, if that person should play that role and they can't, and then someone else steps into it, you're going to have to do something, because Embiid doesn't strike me as somebody who's ready to just get in line and follow Maxey and play a significantly lower role. And obviously Edgecombe as well. I mean, do they trade him this year?
Yeah, I mean,
they might have to, Troy. Like, there's teams that would be willing to roll the dice and take somebody if they have not a lot going for them. I don't think it's any contenders. I think it's somebody who just needs like a complete centerpiece. I think that is on the table for this season.
I don't know who would trade for him. They just re-signed him like idiots this offseason when they knew his knee was done. And so I'm not sure, but to your point, Ty, the Sixers have a predicament on their hands as far as what direction are we taking this franchise, because it's clear they're ascending and trending in a different direction that probably doesn't include Embiid. Not to mention Embiid has just looked terrible every second he's been on the floor. So it's not just the minutes restriction. He's looked off. He's been unplayable. That Boston game, the first game of the season, he was barely playable.
Right.
So and they didn't play him in the fourth quarter. So
and then last night I think because of the minutes restriction, he was out when they came back. Right.
Yeah.
I mean they made this furious comeback.
Yeah. No. So they have a predicament on their hands. I don't know who takes that contract unless you're throwing in first rounders.
Yeah. I mean the Magic could trade Franz and Wendell and Tyus Jones.
Hey, so Ty, I do just before we leave the Sixers, we're giving them a lot of, and rightfully so. They're 4-0. We're giving them a lot of airtime here. My defender deny. This isn't a take you had, but it's just from the first week of the season. We got to mention with Maxey. We have to mention VJ Edgecombe.
Yeah,
and the rookie just lighten it up. Everyone's question was, could he shoot? We knew the athleticism,
right?
But his shot looks terrific. He's nailing threes. So my defender deny Maxey and Edgecombe as the best backcourt in the NBA.
Ooh.
And so I'll give you. I'll give you.
If you're building a backcourt for 5 years, or like right now,
the best backcourt in the NBA. Right now in this season, 4 games into Edgecombe's career, and I think the answer would be no. So I think you deny it, but I'll just
don't put words in my mouth, dog. I haven't even had a chance.
But so I went through. I'll give you kind of the backcourts that. Yep. So I think the obvious Garland Mitchell.
Okay.
Brunson, Jalen, and Josh Hart.
Right.
Shai and Cason Wallace. More so, I mean, it includes Shai.
Power of Shai, right.
Yeah.
Suggs and Bane. No, I'm just kidding.
Murray, well, I put Suggs and Bane on there, actually.
That was very nice.
Because it starts to get, so I put Luka, if you count him as a point guard, and Austin Reeves.
Okay.
Who dropped 55 on the Kings the other night.
Didn't he shoot 43 free throws, though?
Yeah, he did. Murray and Christian Braun, and Cade and Asar Thompson. So those are that was kind of it, though. I mean, I just named 7 backcourts, and that kind of is where it. So I didn't include solo backcourts a lot, other than Shai. So
some of those get tricky when it's man. That's a great question, Troy. I will tell you what. I mean, Edgecombe is. I mean, you talk about somebody exceeding every expectation, and I feel like he's been. I think Maxey's a great mentor for him. They both seem selfless enough to play well together. They'll take shots when they need to, but they seem like they like playing together. Man, I'm going to deny it only because Luka Doncic exists and only because Shai exists and the power of them alone. Yeah. But as like a 1-2 punch, I mean,
so far they've been producing, man. I mean, I mean,
that is fascinating that we're in this. And then remember last week towards the end of the podcast, I was like, all right, hold on. Is there a path for the Sixers? And I went through the guards. I barely mentioned Edgecombe. I was more focused on McCain, Grimes, because those guys could ball. And I've always been a huge Maxey guy. McCain's not even back yet. I mean, they definitely have the best 3 to 4 guards. I mean, I know that's like kind of a silly quantifier, but to the point where, if Embiid could just agree to a role that maybe isn't the ball coming into his hands, slowing down the offense all the time. If he can learn to be malleable, I can see them running 3-guard lineups, and then rotating those 4 guys. And I like that team a lot.
Yeah.
I like that team a lot. And I think, defensively they'll struggles, but right now everybody in the NBA is struggling defensively. So it's kind of about first to 130, 140, 150. Obviously that'll change in the playoffs, but I like the Sixers, man. They have options. And, I don't know where Paul George fits. Again, he seems like he's in the point of his career where he might be okay just to be more of a spot up shooter, which I think he could do fine at this point. So I'm going to deny that. But I think it's a very, very valid question. Who would have thought?
Well, it shows the level of Edgecombe and Maxey elevating as well, man.
Right.
So props to the Sixers. We gave a lot of time, a lot of cred. So.
All right, Troy, my defender deny for you. When we asked who would be overrated, properly rated, and underrated in the West with a resounding underrated, you claimed the old-ass Los Angeles Clippers, and you went through their roster, and I was actually kind of shocked. We're early in the season, but defender deny, Troy, that the Clippers will finish, I believe, somewhere in that top 4 or 5 outside of those. I think you said top 4. Yeah. Where are you landing on it after watching them a few weeks?
I might have even said they were dark horses to
win the
contend
title
for the West. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to deny it. There's no defense of it. They literally look like that guy that shows up to the rec center and is like got inspired watching like a KG commercial or something, and like Garnett was going crazy. He's like, I got to get back into some ball, and like wears the old NBA jersey with no undershirt, and
yeah, hell yeah, dude, that's my guy.
And then like after half a game, he's like cherry picking on the other end. That's literally what the Clippers look like. They're like so tired of playing, and it's 4 games into the season. They look dysfunctional. I've thought about this too, is like, because there is too much talent still for them to be like this, and I'm curious with we didn't go into this much with the Kawhi Leonard payment scandal,
right?
Getting kind of paid under the table through this fake company.
I asked you last week when you picked him to win if you were being paid by his tree company to pick them.
They cut me off after I made them. I brought too much attention. But I'm wondering if like the other players are like, wait, what about us? You did this for Kawhi? Like,
oh,
where's our take?
Oh, fascinating. Okay.
And just, not that they think they deserve the same amount, but it can just create some disunity there,
It could.
And,
yeah.
And so
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because it did get kind of swept under the rug. It feels like that could have been a really big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. NBA is great at that.
Yeah.
Scandal comes this way, man. They just,
Well, then the betting scandal came since we've taped last. So, yeah. So I don't know what else to say other than like they look very uninspired. They don't look like they care. And which is the exact opposite of all the
league's too good now. The league's too good to do that.
All the good teams
too good.
look like they want to kick everyone's ass.
Right.
And they look like they just want to make their money and get off the court.
I mean, Troy, it's crazy too that we're talking about this type of like what the league looks like when 4 marquee stars are out for considerable time right off the jump. Yeah. And I feel like a couple years ago that would have crippled the league. And now like you don't even notice that Dame and that Halliburton and Kyrie and who's Tatum are out. Like it hasn't crossed anyone's mind. Obviously, if you're a fan of one of those teams, it might, but it's been extremely enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Troy,
for sure.
Do you have any, if you have any more defender denies, throw it my way. I have one for myself. It's a very short one though. So if you have some, this will be intermission.
Yeah.
All right, Titus, defend or deny. Yeah. You said, Klay Thompson is bad at basketball and should not be starting for the Mavericks anymore. I would like to defend that take and say, I have never been more right about anything in my life. My God, dude, this guy, if his name wasn't Klay Thompson and he was putting up, now I haven't watched every game, so if he had a hot shooting night last night, I apologize. But from what I've seen from him this year, the like complete obliviousness to anyone around him, to any flow of game stuff, it's honestly, Troy, it's like getting sad because he was universally the most likable guy in the NBA during that Warriors run. People would even joke about that. Like, you can't hate Klay Thompson. There's nothing to hate about him. And I've been calling this literally since our finals podcast. You can ask anyone in Ireland. People in Ireland love us. They listen to that podcast. Like I was seeing that back in that 2021 finals. I don't think it's ever gotten better. There's been some stuff here and there. I mean, he cannot guard anymore, any position. He's not big enough to guard really physical big guys, and he's so slow. He cannot guard guards. It's sad how much he forces his own shot. If I was a fan, I watch Maverick games very neutrally, other than the 41.5 over that I took because you were hyping them up to me last week. But other than that, it's unbelievable. If this was like a random role player or a guy trying to make his way on the team, he would get benched. I mean, people would be ripping him, but he has he's had a 4-year leash of playing like this. It's one thing to come back and be hurt. It's another thing to like force it to the point where it's uncomfortable to watch, of trying to be something you were. I feel bad even saying it, but it is so blatantly obvious how much like they would be better off putting in anybody than him. And I hate to say it because he seems like a great guy, but like, it's just odd that people don't talk about this more honestly in the NBA world.
Yeah, I think the reverence to what he was, and I guess also the injuries.
But dude, we're quick to rip players when they get old all the time and they fall off. Name the sport: football, basketball.
I guess
it's just odd. Like, why do we have more reverence for him than like Kobe? Towards the end of his career, people were taking shots when it was obvious, like he was still trying to force stuff when he just, he was old at that point. I don't know. It just, to me, it's like really strange.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even
I'm with you.
I feel like you've been paid off by his tree company. You won't even comment on this.
I have nothing to add. I have nothing to add on that, but I do, going to his former team. Great segue there, Titus. Defender deny the Warriors as the team in the West with the best chance of knocking off the Thunder.
I'm going to deny that.
So the other teams I included were Nuggets, Houston, Wolves, and Spurs. I just kind of threw in there. Those would be the top 4 or 5 teams other than the Warriors.
So one thing I said last week, and I feel very strong about it, was the Spurs, right? I felt like it was insane to me that they weren't a top 8 team in the West, like based on preseason over-unders. Obviously, they look great so far.
That's already been confirmed.
Houston's interesting, right? Because there's some of the stuff we talked about, particularly Reed Shepherd. We went out of our way. It couldn't have looked worse for him so far. And we even said before it was official that they probably will roll out a super tall lineup, which they have. Thank God they're not starting Reed Shepherd. That to be said, though, I'm going to take a page out of your playbook. I think it is Denver, though. I think Denver, and this is something I've always been slow to hype up Denver for whatever reason. I don't know what my bias is against them, but just seeing what they're doing, I think consistency-wise, they're the team night in and night out that feels like, first of all, they could challenge them for wins, even though Oklahoma City has answered every challenge resoundingly so far this year. They're 5-0. But there's still a part of me with Golden State, man, that like, I love them. I watch them anytime I can. It just feels like they're one Curry twisted ankle away. Like I watch them like holding my breath. I reverence Curry. Kind of that idea of like you're saying with Clay, like people won't criticize him. I watch him like I'm watching like a family member. Like I'm worried something, he's going to get hurt or something. And they're still heavily reliant on him. I do love the rise of Kuminga. We, again, old Buckets and Gravy take, we were screaming for Kuminga to play more in the 2021 finals, right? Was that 22, 21, whatever year that was? 22 maybe. So whenever they were in the finals last, it's finally happening. I have a funny feeling that Jimmy Butler told Steve Kerr, like, dude, we need him to succeed. So whatever weird beef or like whatever like hatred you have towards him because he doesn't run your offense perfectly the way you want, because it seems like Kerr's kind of just let go a little bit. He's letting Kuminga play through mistakes. He's letting him take some bad shots because the good far outweighs the bad with what he brings to that team. So that to be said, I like them. I just don't see them. I think they're outside of that top 2. Again, something that you've pointed to consistently with Denver. I'm on board with Denver now. I think Golden State, they just feel like it's too much of a glass house. I feel like if one thing shatters, the whole thing comes down.
Yeah.
Especially with the age.
They did play last week in Denver's opener.
Yep.
Fantastic. Just everything you want. And Curry, of course, dropping bombs, scored 40. It went to overtime. The Warriors actually ended up winning.
They did.
But again, to your point, they're a Jimmy Butler injury away.
Right.
They're very old. They're a very old team, and
a Draymond kick or punch or choke away from
exactly. Okay, so you're going with Denver over as the best chance to knock off. Man, it's going to be tough to. OKC doesn't even have Jalen Williams right now, and they're crushing. It's scary how good they are. And Shai went up a level, by the way. It's like certified he's gone up a level, and he won MVP last year. It's crazy.
All right, Troy, I have a defender deny for you.
Okay.
This is not from last week's podcast, but it's from a text message exchange for us. Defender deny that you think that Giannis has a chance to take back his crown as best player in the NBA this year and win MVP.
And listen, this is something I think of all the texts we've sent over the past week. I have watched every single minute of every Bucks game, and I am just Giannis is on that level of like, hey, everybody, don't forget about me. Like, so, and let's just kind of, so they won the finals, had a couple years there where they just didn't have enough, some injuries with Middleton.
Oh, yeah, injuries every year. It felt like there was a big injury. Yeah.
Giannis had injury. They I think they realized, listen, we've maxed out this regime.
Mm-hmm.
Traded Drew, which everyone criticized. Like, how do you trade Drew? It's like, well, they reached their max with that.
Right.
And the only reason Drew was great with the Celtics because he was like their fourth or fifth option. And it was a perfect spot for Drew.
Right. For this age that he's at.
For this age.
Right.
No doubt. They tried Dame Lillard. It didn't work.
Right.
So they got him out. And that happens, man. They took a swing, right?
Mm-hmm.
This season, man, I'm pointing specifically to this game last night against the Knicks. You just saw the team. It was a team, it's very early on, but the whole team just believes that they can win every single game because they have Giannis.
Right.
But on the flip side, Giannis has like unleashed everybody to play so free.
Yeah.
Because all he wants to do is win.
Right.
It's not about him. He's going to get his numbers because he's that good. He's averaging 37, 14, and 7 or whatever, right? But watching last night, man, Giannis he's just unstoppable. Defensively, he's guarding Jalen Brunson, rips him, dunks it. On the fast break, posting up, shooting threes, getting to the line, getting rebound, offensive boards. But also, man, it's just his leadership.
Yeah.
And that whole team is flying around like maniacs because they believe.
Troy, who are his so we're specifically talking about Giannis, and I hear everything you're saying, and I think the MVP thing's a really smart bet, honestly.
Yeah.
Going beyond that as a team, do they have enough to really compete? I mean, the East is pretty open. They were probably underrated, right? At the beginning of the year in the East, they were like 6th or 7th.
Yeah.
Highest seeded team.
Yeah. Yeah. They were rated behind the Sixers, which was insane to me.
And the Magic. That seems pretty insane right now.
I got to say, man, they picked up, we pointed this out in our first pod before the season. They picked up Miles Turner.
Yep.
Man, don't underestimate how big of a pickup that was, dude.
Yeah, I definitely underestimated. I forgot it even happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, Brooke Lopez was the man. So good. NBA champion.
Right.
Crucial to that team that won the title. But, man, that dude moved before his departure. He moved like he had cement blocks on his feet. And he went to the Clippers. Perfect place to go because they're all moving like they have
like,
cement
welcome home, baby.
So, so they played the Knicks last night, who are far superior in talent, far superior. And Miles Turner and Giannis are just rotating around, running around like maniacs to fit like nothing at the rim. It was easy. And they're switching. They're able to move so well. One of my defender denies, and I think it was kind of along the lines of the Maxey Edgecombe where we deny it. But is this the best front court in the NBA?
Who's their third front court member?
Well, Kuzma.
Okay.
So I think the winner would probably be Jokic and Aaron Gordon.
Right.
Just by default. But, man, watching that game last night and what they did to New York, And New
I
York's
mean, New
the
York was
favorites.
up 12 at halftime, right?
New York's the favorites in the East, right?
Right.
But you just saw like that was the thing that just last night when I texted you guys, like, man, something with this Bucks team. They like really believe that they can win every game when this guy's on the floor. And he's quite literally unstoppable. I don't know who guards him in the East, to be quite honest. There's no one on that Knicks team. OG Anunoby is too small. Cat is too slow.
Right.
And man, he just dominated. And so I think Giannis is on a mission this year, and it's kind of been a theme, kind of how we started the pod tonight, right? It's been a theme where, like, it seems like every superstar that has even like a 1% chance of winning the NBA wants to let the NBA know that I'm back, right?
I hope they keep it going, man.
Yeah,
because I feel like there have been past years where it kind of like nothing like this. This was the best first week of basketball I can ever remember.
Hopefully it doesn't fall off. In the spirit of MJ, you know, Michael Jordan's doing these interviews once a week on NBC, and he had one last night on load management saying it's a joke. So maybe that woke up some players to not just sit out. But
and I love that he said, like, listen, what are you doing the other 21 hours a day?
Yeah.
He's like, they're paid to play 3 hours of basketball. I mean, it was interesting.
I cut the video off at that point because I didn't want to think about what I do.
You're like, yeah, that sounds like the best life ever.
Yeah, I know. No, but so, dude, I'm all in on Giannis this year. I don't know how. I took him at plus 1,000.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like
for the MVP. Like, I don't even know how he's that far. Averaging 34, 11, like, what is it? 34, 14, and 7. It's crazy.
I love it, man. And I just think, like you said, his will to win, his ability to just like care deeply, and it rubs off on everybody. And like, who wouldn't want to follow a leader like that? I mean,
totally. It's the leadership also, man. It's just like, I would love for them to make a run, dude. I also just love that he stuck it out in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And
a boring ass town, dude.
A reporter asked him last night, like, hey, did it feel good to beat New York with all the rumors of you being traded there? And he said, no, it feels good to beat New York because they kicked our ass every game last year.
Oh, wow. I love it.
He's like, we didn't beat them last year, and as a leader of this team, that's embarrassing. So it feels good to beat them for that.
How many NBA players even remember the results of the team they played last year? You know, I love that he knew that.
Yeah. So I pay attention to Giannis. It's 1 week, but man, I'm in, man. I'm in. So
Any more defender denies, Troy?
No, that's it for me.
All right. Well, I think we should go to our segment, Home Cooking. And as exciting as your Sacramento Kings are to talk about, I think we're going to start with the Orlando Magic.
All right.
And just a brief recap, you know, projected to be third in the East. A lot of buzz, a lot of excitement coming into the season. We went through that for a long time in our first pod. And my question for you is, what happened?
Yeah.
A week later, and it feels like, I mean, it feels almost bleak. Like, and I would love to hear from your perspective, like, what are you seeing going on? And we'll go from there.
Yeah. So I've also watched every minute of every Magic game, and they won the first game of the season against Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And Miami's turned out to be better than I thought.
Right.
But even in that game, I think I texted you, and I was like, man, this looks very similar to last year. Watching tonight, they ended up losing to Detroit tonight.
They got blown out.
By 19,
they ended up getting blown out. Yeah,
by 19 or 20.
No, Troy. Yeah, you're right. 20. Yeah, 19 points. You're right.
Yeah. And I'm just so I have several things listed here as problems.
All right.
For one,
I don't know if I can handle all of them as a lifelong Magic fan. No, I'm just kidding. Go for it.
Yeah,
I want to hear all of them.
So I just say this right off the bat, and I don't have a rhyme or reason as to why. The defense sucks. They gave up 135 points tonight.
Yeah.
So, and Detroit might be a worse 3-point shooting team than the Magic. So giving up 135 points to the Pistons, I don't get it. The defense is terrible, Ty. Like, awful. And so I'm watching Suggs a lot because he's the point of attack. He's the main guy that was the energy booster. And it doesn't seem like he has it this year, dude. Like, Suggs just is out there. Like, it just does not seem like he has.
He's not even shooting a lot this year. Last year, he'd be so juiced up that he would take 5 questionable shots. Like, he has games that he's shooting less than 5 shots.
And it just, on the defensive end, he just doesn't seem ferocious, man. Like, he was a pit bull last year, dude. I mean, just unbelievable. So the defense is just awful, and I don't have anything to say about that other than, like, I've been impressed with Wendell Carter for a lot. Like, I do think he's elevated his game. Like, he's not unplayable, but he's not a rim stopper.
Well, he's like 6'9". He's like an undersized, unathletic center.
Yeah. So in a lot of ways, y'all are like the Kings, where, like, we have Sabonis, great offensive player, great rebounder. But as far as a rim protector, it's not there.
So you're saying you would trade Sabonis for Wendell Carter?
Yeah. That'd be an even trade. It'd be Sabonis. We'll get into that in a minute. But so I don't have an answer for that other than the defense is terrible, as proven again tonight. Right. I'd say also, and this is something we've called out. We called out last pod where we said Franz and Paolo have to elevate. And I just don't see. I'm starting to worry, man, about Paolo's in particular because he is the number 1 pick.
Right.
I think he is a great player. I'm not sure what his greatest skill set is. In particular on the offensive end. Like, if I was going to ask you, Ty, what is his best offensive trait or, like, go-to move, or, like with Kobe, it was the turnaround jumper, right? Or that first step. But with Paulo, it's like he has he's very gifted. He can barrel into guys sometimes. He can pass to the open guy. I don't know what his greatest offensive skill set is, and that worries me. So do you have any comments on that, Ty?
What's that?
Do you have any comments on that?
Oh, yeah.
Just with Paulo?
On the Paulo thing, I'll say his greatest trait, probably by a wide margin, is his ability to get downhill and get to the basket. However, if teams start walling up, you have to be a really good passer because you're making a split-second read that if you're going downhill and it's not there and it's contested or you're going to get a charge, you have to be a good passer. And I mentioned this last week, like, it is what it is. He's not a playmaker. Like, you can see that right away in the NBA. Like, you can improve a little bit on that, but I am fully convinced that that is a skill that you have or you do not have pretty early on. The ability, especially if you're a primary scorer, the ability to make that split-second decision. You don't need to be LaMelo Ball or Jason Kidd, right? But you got to be like a really firm decision maker, quick processor, and then physically be able to make that pass, whatever it is. That's the easiest part. The hardest part is processing and understanding what's happening as or even before it happens. That he is, so his greatest trait is barreling down the lane, being extremely powerful. That's great if there's no help defense. If teams have figured out that is what they need to take away, and you're not a great passer, then that leaves you to having to be a jump shooter, right? Or at least consistently hit jump shots if they're playing off of you, or if that's what's available. And he's improved in that for sure. He's not elite though. He's not going to win you a title.
Good enough.
Not good enough to be the best option on a finals team, which people talked about. People talked about this being a finals team. We Magic fans thought, and Vegas thought we were in the running for it. People picked that. at the end of the day, he is very young, but he's the ball is in his hands a lot. And honestly, same thing with Franz. Franz is they're kind of similar, right? Like really gifted downhill, big for his position. However, Franz doesn't blow your mind with his passes. Like neither of them do. And I think if you're giving me the runway to talk a little bit about the Magic, I think it's three things. I think one, we're in the bottom 5 of the league in turnovers, right? This has been a consistent problem for us, just like turnover machines. Tyus Jones plays 18 minutes a game. He's not playing well, first of all. And that 18 minutes a game, it's great. He's not maybe turning the ball over a lot, but he's not bringing a lot else to the table. And he's not in our crunch line lineups. So our lineups are playing 25, 30 minutes together. In those lineups, we still have a huge ass problem. We don't have a point guard. Suggs is not a point guard. Bane is not a point guard. They both can be good combo guards at time. And then the answer in their mind is, well, the ball will be in Franz and Paolo's hands a lot. They're not great playmakers. I love them. I really like them. But I think this team, like in hindsight, and not even hindsight, this is what I wanted. Like, and this is all theoretical, but we should have gotten LaMelo Ball, not Desmond Bane, right? Like we needed somebody, or even De'Aaron Fox, not Desmond Bane. I think Bane has been fine for us, but again, like you're asking him to come into a situation where there's still no playmaker. We do not have a playmaker. So that's the biggest problem to me.
Yeah.
And that's a GM problem because they are what they are.
Yeah.
That's the whole job of management is to, they're great at what they do. Our 4 core guys are all great at what they do. And in theory, they could all be on the court together with the right coaching, but that missing piece is somebody who can distribute, who can calm stuff down. We do not have that. And you're asking Suggs, who's like a wild hyena, like to be like calm and in control. That's not who he is. He plays best when he's causing chaos in defense. And then offensively, he's putting pressure on you, but he's kind of out of control. That's just who he is. He's not going to change. And then I almost feel like he's trying to be something different this year. So his shot attempts are down, his bad shots are down, but also his attacking is down because I think he's trying to be his point guard and his assists aren't really up. That's just not who he is. He's not an elite passer. Bane can do it, but again, not elite. So that to me is so clearly the big issue. You could add all the shooters you want, but if you don't have a system in place or playmakers in place, like even Golden State, they didn't have a point guard, but they had the best passing power forward of our generation and Draymond Green. That helps, right? He's throwing elite passes all over the court. So I just think we didn't really address our big needs. And again, the league is too good. And we got, the defensive thing. Do you have more to add on the Magic? Because I might just go off, but I want to hear all your thoughts first.
So you literally, I just want to jump in on what I wrote down was the offense has no purpose. And that's just fitting right into what you're saying as far as there's no one to set anything up. It's just, and even I saw it tonight against the Pistons. It's like Apollo drive, nothing there, kick it out, give it to Franz. Oh, Franz drive, nothing there, kick it out.
Right.
Bane drive. It's just, there's nothing happening really. There's no kind of purpose to anything.
There's no clarity.
There's nothing. Yeah. So, And I don't know why, or I don't know where Bane fits in on this team. It's not, we kind of were like, oh, Bane's awesome. And he was great on Memphis. And it's like, wait a minute. He was the third option on that team.
Right.
Like, we didn't really talk about that. We're just like, oh, we love Bane. Bane's great.
Right.
And I do love Bane for a lot of reasons, but he's coming, and I think he has come into a situation that is terrible for him and any average star, if we want to call Bane a star, any average player.
Wait, you're calling Bane a star, but not Maxey?
Well, because there's not a point guard. So someone like Maxey would come in and create his own shot. Sure. But like, with these guys, it's within the flow of an offense, and there is no flow of an offense. Right. So it's just it's like you drive, kick out. Now you drive, kick out. And so I'm not sure Bane was the answer. I'm also curious as to how impactful KCP was on defense last year.
He wasn't. I mean, it was Suggs.
Yeah.
It was. Here's the other thing. So let's
Suggs
talk about
was
the
a
defense.
maniac last year.
He was. Let's talk about the defense real quick. So the first thing that's jumped out to me watching the Magic this year is clearly they emphasized in the offseason. Maybe the only thing they emphasized was we got to play faster. So we were notoriously slow the last couple of years. And I think some of that gave us a puncher's chance when we were younger and not as good. And with that is you have to find a way, if you're going to play faster, you have to accommodate for that on defense. Like if there's more possessions, you will give up more points, right? But it's not an excuse to just throw defense out the window. And what I'm finding is it's nice that we're playing faster and I haven't looked up the numbers, but I'm sure we're scoring a little bit more than we did last year. We're still dead ass last in 3-point attempts, makes, and percentage though per game right now. I mean, that's insane adding Bane. But defensively, I think we're just not guarded. I mean, this is like so simple, but we have maybe the worst rim protecting starting center in the league in Wendell, and we have a power forward in Paolo who's probably more of a small forward defensively. And so like we are weak. And last year we guarded the ball really well. Like there's a tendency in the NBA that the court is so spread out that bad teams just let straight line drives happen constantly. And then it forces rotations. And then if they're a bad team, they're probably not rotating. And then that's why bad teams give up 147 points, whatever. The Magic overnight have become that. We are not defending the straight line drive. I'm watching guys, Maxey is elite at it. So he's not the only one, but the Bulls, it was like a layup line. Like anyone who wanted to get 2 feet in the paint comfortably would. And again, we touched on this in the opening segment. The NBA is too good. These guys, every one of these guys, your most random player can hit the floaters that no one in the league was making 15 years ago. Like, so if you're not going to defend, you better outscore them. And we're still, like we just talked about why we want to outscore them. There's no purpose. So we'll have good quarters. And then like tonight, we had a 24-point quarter, 2 28-point quarters. It's not good enough, especially if you're not going to try to be elite defensively. So, I mean, I think those are the main things. There's management issues like I touched on. Like we have not addressed what the most important thing was like a clear, steady playmaker. Tyus Jones, maybe that's what they're trying to address. But at the end of the day, I think part of the issue was we probably had to take a big swing by moving Suggs, Wendell, maybe Franz. And instead, we tried to kind of have our cake and eat it too, keep everybody, add Bane. And the problem was by doing that, you added somebody who in theory helps, but he doesn't because no one's setting anyone up. So you can add the greatest shooter in the world. All right, my last point, I know you defended Wendell. The Magic have a center issue. It's Wendell is making 12.5 this year. He's going to bump up to making more than Zubac next year, 19.5. Goga, I think Goga is one of those things, because we re-signed him. The deal next year kicks in at that number. So Goga, again, going to our text message, like I'm always like fighting for Goga. At the end of the day, Goga's fine. Goga I don't know.
Was great tonight. Honestly.
He probably was. And Wendell only played 15 minutes. I think he had foul trouble. But my point is, we have a huge Wendell issue in that there's literally nothing. I thought about this, Troy. There's nothing that he does above average, anything for an NBA center right now. In today's NBA, with the talent level, he's undersized. He's not explosive. He has bad hands. He's not a great defender. And then from a skill level, he was the worst shooting NBA center last year from 3-point range, 23%. He's not consistently scoring around the rim. If he does, he's average. He's not above average. There's literally nothing he brings to the table. At least with Gogo, their shot blocking, that is above average when you go through his per 36. And I think he's a good screen setter, rim runner, but Goga's not amazing. Goga is okay. But it's one of those things where like, when you're starving and then you finally get a burger from Wendy's, you're like, God, was that the best burger I ever had in my life? Or was I just starving? I think that's what Goga is for me as a Magic fan. Like he looks like a juicy, like
double
Baconator.
or triple Baconator.
He looks like a triple Baconator, but I also was like on a 3-day hunger fast, trying to right the Magic's wrongs. So I'm not saying he's the answer. This is like turning bleak fast, dude. We're 1-4.
It is.
It's a long season, and at the end of the day, Mosley, like I've always maintained, you've hit this heavily. I think he's a great development coach. And we've seen time and time again, great development coaches do not make great contending coaches. Period. We see it all the time. The Heat famously fired Stan Van Gundy in the middle of a season, and Pat Riley moved back in. That was like extreme, right? But they made a determination. We feel like he's gotten us as far as he can. Now he's done. And we see that play out all the time. And the most famous case in my mind was the Sixers, right? Like they had this unbelievable young core that before they knew it was in a second round matchup with the Boston Celtics. It happened fast. Got completely outcoached by Brad Stevens. It was so clear it was time for Brett Brown to leave, and the Sixers stubborn. And then he couldn't handle Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler publicly went on a podcast afterwards and talked about how awkward their film sessions were because he said Brett Brown didn't have the nuts to call anyone out. He was everyone's friend, so he would just click. He wouldn't say anything. And Jimmy Butler, of course, is like totally for like being like confrontational. Was like, "Are you gonna say something? Like, what's going on?" So Mosley strikes me. I think. It's hard to not think he's a good development coach. He is not the guy who's going to get us to the next level. And this is usually how it happens is like the team falls off a cliff. But they could have determined this probably a year ago, I think. So our rotations, Troy, are all over the place. Like one game, Jonathan Isaac plays 18 minutes. The next game, he's a DNP. Like he just yanks. And it's one thing to do it early in a season. There's 3 years of this where our lineup is just like all over the place. No clear consistency. And you're at a point now where you might lose the locker room. And then you have to look ahead to the future. Is like Paulo going to leave? This could be a domino effect. I'm not ever one to call for people's jobs, but I think Mosley he has to be on the hot seat because it's that critical.
Yeah. If it gets any worse, then he could go. And listen, we say this all the time. Unfortunately, it seems like every single one of my teams has done this. The Sacramento Kings famously a few years ago had the beam team. Oh, Mike Brown, he's amazing. Let's extend him for $8 million a year, and then we fire him literally halfway through last year.
Right.
Not to mention, man, and this may be a conversation for another pod. The Knicks stand no chance with Mike Brown as their coach. I'm sorry. He is so bad. He is such a bad coach. But we'll get into that another time.
But you've been calling the Mosley thing, dude. Like
the Mosley,
it's becoming very
whenever
clear.
you have that good season, don't extend the coach.
Right.
Make him do it again. Us Florida State fans, Mike Norvell had a great season.
Hey, now that's my guy. Norvell for life, baby.
So it's just, man, make them earn it. But I gotta say, just watching tonight, I do think Mosley does not do anything to help Paolo, Franz, Bane get put in spots to perform with any ease. Everything is hard.
Yeah.
But I was also watching the game, and I'm like, man, if you flipped Cade and Paolo, or even like Cade and Asar Thompson and Paolo and Franz, I think whatever team Cade is on would win.
Yeah.
It was that glaring of how much better Cade is.
How much of an
Paolo.
impact he makes on the game. He can score, he can pass. Yeah.
He just controlled everything about the game.
Right.
The tempo, he was in control of the ball. Their offense had a flow, and their team knows who to get the ball to, so they can get the ball where the Magic don't have that. The Magic,
dude, maybe the Magic are a Embiid trade destination. Maybe both teams get to a point where they're like, yeah, we throw. It would have to be Franz. It would be a heavy package, but maybe it's a Hail Mary to say,
I
don't know.
The only thing can Embiid even play?
Yeah, that's a good point. He's better than Wendell Carter. I'll tell you that much.
He is. So I don't know. This is an interesting discussion of total speculation, but I mean, if the Spurs keep going how they are without Fox, and I'm the Magic, if Fox becomes available, I'm going for him.
Yeah.
All in. Bane Franz, go. Bane Franz, just go.
Can it be so? Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Or
I hate to lose. I hate to lose Bane, but yeah, it might have to be. I mean, so basically, what you're saying, Troy, from your objective standpoint, we're getting pretty close to Franz and Paolo might not be able to win a title together. They're not Jaylen Brown and Tatum. They're different players. A lot of people point to that. Like
Jaylen Brown.
Yeah,
or Tatum.
they're not them. You know, both those guys had way more guard skill, and
I'm going to blame Paolo for that. I would say Franz is Jaylen Brown, to the extent that the Brown Tatum comparison. He's living up to that as much as he can. I think.
Right.
But Paolo, I just go back watching that game tonight. I don't know. I never felt like, oh, this guy's just going to dominate.
Right.
Like, I don't know what his offensive skill set is.
I think that's fair, Troy. I mean, I think it's cute and it's fun in years 1 through 3 when you're doing special stuff, but now it's like show me time. I mean,
and he'll have nights where he drops 40, right?
Sure.
But on the consistent level, and again, the glaring thing I saw tonight is like Kate is just like on another level, like 3 levels higher. So it's bleak for the Magic, in my opinion, man. I thought they would elevate.
I was hoping you'd have good news for me, Troy.
And it's early too, though. You know, when a new player comes in, they got to find their way in and stuff like that. But I mean, the defense is concerning, and I will say this: Bane is not a good defender, and that's just known since he's entered the league. I mean, I'm not saying he's the worst defender in the NBA, but he's not a shutdown guy.
Right.
So,
all right. So let's flip gears. Part 2 of home cooking is
home cooking, baby. The
Sacramento Kings, man.
Yeah.
And we lost tonight against the Bulls, the team that you are mimicking their 2019 roster.
Yes. Yes.
So I know there's a lot of good reasons for y'all to lose. I will fully admit, Troy, I have not watched 1 second yet of Kings basketball this year.
You're a disgrace.
I know I'm embarrassed to admit, but just looking at the, just looking at it. I mean, tell me, I literally, whatever you tell me is going to be a surprise. So is it going as planned for you guys to be in the, Tankathon this year?
Last game, Sabonis did a behind the back between the legs dunk. So, no, we are like all eyes on AJ DeBonsa, first pick. We signed Russell Westbrook.
How's that been?
Thing. He's starting for us currently.
So the NBA app says he's starting at power forward for you.
Yeah.
Wait, is that a misprint?
Yeah. Our starting lineup is.
They literally have him at power forward, like in the box score.
Listen to this starting lineup, man. You can't make this up. Dennis Schroeder, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Russell Westbrook, Domantas Sabonis.
It's beautiful.
So,
wait, Troy, is he actually power forward? Is he like posting up other power forwards?
Yeah, he's power forward. Yeah. So,
I am so thrown off by this.
We have nothing. The Bulls are 4-0, by the way. But it's just clear we're not even tanking and we lose. Like, that's how bad it is. I will say, man, I know his contract is steep. I don't even remember. I think he's making maybe next year's $48 million. And then it keeps getting higher. Zach LaVine has been a killer this year. Like,
really?
In a very positive.
He had 30 tonight.
30 tonight on like
12 of
70%
19
shooting. Yeah. Like, no, and that's been consistent for the season. I mean, we're 5 games in.
Right.
But he's been like really playing hard on defense. So again, he's making a lot of money with the aprons. I don't know how anyone gets traded actually. So,
right. It is very confusing.
To the extent where we just like dump him to somebody. But man, that guy can play. I've been very impressed with him. That's the one positive I have. I hate watching DeMar DeRozan play basketball still. I hate watching Sabonis play basketball, specifically defense. We're not running the offense through him this year, and it's clear he's like a nothing. Like,
wow,
he's like 80% less effective if you're not
the ball's not in his
literally
hands
running
constantly.
the whole
Yeah,
offense through him. Yeah, which we shouldn't be doing anyway. He's a
Right.
center, so it's bleak. It's very dark.
Wait, is Sabonis averaging 10 points a game right now?
Yes. Yeah, he's terrible.
10.7 points a game?
Yes. Yes. Yep. Yep.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Because the offense isn't running, everything's not through him. You should never give someone a contract based off stats. Do not give them a contract based off stats.
10 points a game.
Yep. Yep.
I'm like shocked.
I would love one day to if I see Fox in the airport, I'm going to him. Because I would just want to ask him, like, hey, did you know, like, I'm just curious the reason he wanted to leave. Like, did you know all this? Like, Sabonis sucked. And the last straw was was firing Mike Brown, right? But like, did you know all that? Like, that this team was just crap. Harrison Barnes, and I'm sure they do. I mean, we're watching on TV and know it, right? So,
but the fact that he kind of had to share the load with Sabonis, like, yeah, that's interesting, man. That's wild. I literally thought that was a typo.
Yeah. So, listen, man. With this roster, the best thing we can do every single game is lose. And I hate to say that. I like that they're playing hard because we're not just tanking like.
Well, it's also week one.
It's week one, so a month from now.
So kudos to you guys for not tanking in your first 4 games.
I don't know how we offload play. Like, we have plenty of guys that could be traded.
Yeah.
I even think DeRozan could help somebody that needs some scoring, right? So,
well, I know the Magic fans are floating the Bleak Monk thing, which I don't know if that ship already sailed, but again, I don't even know who knows how to actually pull it off. But
the Magic are the Kings they are a non-factor that we're just going for the first pick. Get a top 3 pick. Number 1 would be ideal to get AJ DeBonsa. That guy looks like T-Mac and Kobe.
He looks unbelievable.
Had a baby. Dude, so that's all we can hope for because we suck so bad. I hate this team. I hate, like, it's literally when I became a Kings fan because of how beautiful a basketball they played.
Yeah.
With Jason Williams, but then Mike Bibby, Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, Peja Stojakovic, all the back cutting. Just beautiful basketball.
100%.
That's why I became a Kings fan. Literally is like the opposite. There's like porta potty compared to like a nice
Troy, what's your over under on the amount of Kings games you're going to torture yourself by watching this year?
Not many.
Come on, give me a number.
I don't know if I'll hit double digits this year.
Really? How many have you watched of their first 4 or 5?
I have watched 2 shots in one game, and I watched.
Were they both DeRozan?
Yeah, exactly. So I watched a little bit tonight, and man, Levine is the man. I like really Levine, like Levine.
He got a bad rap, dude.
Yeah.
I understand the contract stuff, but just purely as putting the contract aside. Hey, how's your boy Bradley Beal been? I know we talked about him last week. Has he been doing anything?
He's been injured.
Oh, yes, okay.
So, yeah, he sucks. So.
Troy, any other untalked about things or surprise teams? One thing that jumped out to me is like the Grizzlies might be okay. They might be okay. I think we kind of like poo-pooed on them last week. I watched them play the other night, gave Golden State a good game, and they still have Ja, they still have JJJ, and they just draft so well. Like every time that they have like a mid-round pick, they always turn out being like a starter. Like Bane was in the 20s last year with Wells, right? Their rookie from last year. And then their rookie this year looks awesome.
Cedric Howard.
Looks awesome.
Dude.
Looks awesome.
He started
Aldama,
D3.
like they just pick up solid pieces.
Well, that Coward guy started D3.
Really? Wow.
And then worked his way. Yeah,
that
dude.
gives us hope, dude. It's never too late.
I still got some
You got a
eligibility.
D3 college up the road from you, man. You can go try out and get this ball rolling. That's my like kind of like, oh, I don't think I gave him enough credit. Like they've jumped out at me. And again, Ja's really good. I mean, on any given night, he can outduel anybody. He's not afraid of the spotlight. Anything like that jumping out for you as far as like underrated players, teams, things to watch?
Yeah, I didn't think the Warriors were going to be that good. I know it's
that's fair.
Steph and Jimmy,
There's people saying they wouldn't make the playoffs.
They look like they can contend, which is why even in the defender denial, I was like, are they the second best team in the West?
Right.
So it's a surprise, man. It's nice to see Steph still have some juice. Again, it's week 1, so yeah,
I love that guy, man. What a baller! All right, real quick, rookie of the year, who wins it? Does Ace Bailey start getting more minutes, or Cooper Flagg? Is he the darling?
After week 1, you have to go Edgecombe. Right?
Okay.
You just have to. I mean, right now, Cooper Flagg is still favored to win it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Ace Bailey is going to get opportunity. I know right now he's not playing as much as people thought. I can see him being a dark horse. If there's a low, if that's a line, that might be a tasty one right there.
He's got to get healthy. He's got tendonitis in both knees.
Well, nothing that a little trip to Germany couldn't solve.
Yeah, exactly.
Because placenta injected in his knee.
MVP, who you got? You going?
All right, so I will share my MVP pick now, but we're allowed to amend it up to 12 times throughout the season. Dude, I said it last week, man. I'm all in on the Wemby train. I think this is a fitting way to end. Like what we are watching with him, there's multiple. It sucks because like everyone is saying it. I feel like we did hype him pretty well in our preseason pod, but I don't know what his ceiling is. I really don't. He could be the best basketball player to ever live when it's all said and done. And I only say that based on the fact that his physical attributes are unmeasurable compared to anyone else. And he cares so much. And that combination, and he's in a great situation, San Antonio, that combination just makes his ceiling like unmeasurable. And I think in my mind, I don't see how he wouldn't be, I don't want to say wouldn't be the MVP because there's so many great players, but it's very probable to me that he is the front runner for MVP if he stays healthy. And he just seems like, even though he's tall, like for whatever reason, the injury stuff that can plague big men, it might not affect him. I think he's literally just built different. So that's my MVP pick, Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah.
Which I absolutely should have hammered that bet after our podcast. I gassed him up so much, and then I was like, let me take the Dallas over.
Dude, that first game against Dallas, I've never seen anything like. I mean, he literally had 15 dunks in one game,
and he makes dunking look cool for a 7'5" guy. You're not supposed to do that usually, like because he's jumping really high. It's like it's like cartoonish.
Yep.
I never thought as a kid watching Space Jam that I'd actually see a real life Monstar.
Yeah,
just doing his thing.
I'm with you.
It's unbelievable.
My MVP's Giannis, and man, I think they win the East, man. I'm in. All right. I'm in with Giannis and the Bucks.
Bucks Spurs finals, baby.
Yeah, let's go. I
love it,
man. Love it. This has been good, man.
It's been great, man.
Any last words? Any last thoughts?
No, man. I think we'll get back to it again next week. Every week we'll do our Kings and Magic check-in, no matter how bleak it is.
Home cooking,
man. No, I'm looking forward to it. This has been a wildly entertaining season so far, man. And I mean, it's been this fun with a lot of guys injured, so I can't wait to see how stuff plays out, man.
Yeah. Dude, so just real quick, Bucks Warriors tomorrow night. So
well, I do have one last thing to say.
Please.
The NBA, whoever they put in charge of deciding who the primetime games are each season, is pissing me off, dude. If I have to watch Knicks, Cavs, or Lakers, Celtics, these teams are like, there's so much fun young talent in the league. When you look it up, man, primetime games, because right now, I don't know if you knew this, Troy, because you're kidless and you got a good job, like you're paying for all the streaming services. Us working folk that raise a bunch of hellions, like I have to pick and choose what I'm paying for. And I'm just watching right now. I haven't paid for shit. I'm watching to see what's going on. I got to pay for Peacock. I already have paid for Peacock. Apparently I clicked on it and it came right up. Somebody's paying for that. And then we got NBA League Pass, obviously. I have YouTube TV, which I pay a crap load of money for. And then the damn Magic are blacked out here. So my team, which I'm, that's the front runner for getting on the chopping block first of like, they're a scratch off. Like I'm not even going to pay for it. I got to get, it's called FanDuel TV. Have you ever even heard of that? FanDuel TV,
you got to get
dude.
that VPN. You got to get that
I
VPN.
do, man. I got to get the VPN blocker or whatever that. Send me a link to that. So here's my dilemma, Troy. Like, I can't pay for all this stuff. I got to choose. I'm watching the landscape of the league. I'm going to make a decision soon on what I'm going to invest in. But, it would be nice that if the primetime games weren't the same damn 6 teams every night. It's so boring. In the East, it's again, Knicks, Cavs, and Bucks, right?
And very, very little Bucks, man. Occasionally.
They're third. Fine, they're third. Yeah. But those 2 teams. And then in the West, it's the same. It's just like, and Celtics.
Boston, too.
Celtics is probably more than Milwaukee.
Why is Boston on so much?
So how can all those teams have more televised games than the San Antonio Spurs, who have the most generational talent we've maybe ever seen? The Spurs, like, when I looked at it, they have like 13, 14 games. The Magic have like 7, which is probably a good thing. Just not to embarrass the city of Orlando in front of everybody. But the Celtics have 20. It's like, do we want to see Jaylen Brown like rub his sprayed on hair on people? Like, it's funny, but like, I don't want to watch it 20 times in the season. So that is my beef, is like, whoever's doing this for the NBA, have some foresight of like where the league's going. Don't just settle on what had happened in the past. And that's annoying. It's like whoever they put in charge of that doesn't know ball. And that's my beef of the day, even though you did not ask for that. Really negative way to end the podcast, but
I love it. I mean, if I'm going to chime in with my beef, it's always the refs.
Yeah, let's go.
I hate you refs. You suck. All of you. Every single one of you are terrible. I can't stand you.
Dude, there are some concerning stats about the amount of free throws being shot this year.
Totally. Yeah. Totally, dude. It's just
it's like I don't know how they haven't figured that out.
Refs are always bad. They suck. I hate them. They're
Wait,
terrible.
How do you feel about FIBA refs? Do you like FIBA ball? Like the way they ref? Yeah.
Yes.
There's something there, man. Honestly, Troy, college refs, I feel like are much more consistent. Like when you watch a college game, like they don't fall for flopping. I don't know. There's something to it that like other levels of basketball have this figured out. I know people are like, it's so hard to ref an NBA game. They're so fast, big. All true, but like there's other high levels of basketball that seem to be doing it a lot better.
There's the mafia.
I know. I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's like, should we just assume it's like these guys are all crooked?
Yeah. For all of our listeners that aren't aware, there's been a betting scandal in the NBA. We're not going to go into it, but none of it matters because the biggest betting scandal screwed the Kings out of their chance at an NBA championship. That's all that matters.
100%.
So, listen, week 1 in the books.
That's right,
Titus, baby. NBA rules, man.
It's been great, man. It does rule, man. Buckets and gravy rules, man.
Buckets and gravy rules. We got some new segments. I would suggest getting the FanDuel for the Magic since a weekly segment is home cooking.
I have my ways. To watch them. Don't worry. I don't want the FBI on my trail of how I've been watching Magic games.
You got the antenna on the route. You got the boys up. All right. For all of our listeners out there, especially in Ireland.
Yes, sir.
Peace.